You're listening to the Frame100 podcast, a show by Brickfilmers for Brickfilmers.
And welcome to the Frame100 podcast, the show scarier than actually working on your brick film. You're listening to episode 16 of the show. I'm Chris, known as Brick Productions, here with Trevor, aka Student Engineered Studios.
I feel like that opening statement was an attack on my own personal well-being.
It was.
But continue.
Sam, aka Locker 74 Productions.
Trev, that 100% was an attack on you. Just so you know.
I know.
And Marcus, aka Brick Hat Studios.
Ho ho ho! Merry Christmas. Wait, that's the wrong holiday.
Wrong
holiday, man. Okay. Also, nobody introduces
And
Chris.
Marcus, you had one job.
So I'm gonna introduce Chris. And we also have Chris.
I literally just introduced myself earlier.
He introduced himself. What?
I always open up with, I'm Chris, known as Brick Productions,
Nobody gets to introduce you. You have to introduce yourself. It's like, isn't that tiring?
You know, to be fully honest here, sometimes it just feels like I'm just the announcer guy.
I'm sorry. I shouldn't have even.
No, let me have this.
I shouldn't have even.
Everybody asks how is Chris,
on the podcast,
but nobody asks why is Chris.
Exactly.
I walk in and I say the same script every time, and I have to make the funny something at the beginning, and Jared isn't here to give his sweet, wonderful words. And
yeah, I miss that guy. I wonder what he's doing right now.
Watching scary movies on Instagram.
Right now. We should get moving.
Probably. That shameless hack.
I thought he was doing like adult things, like taxes and insurance or something.
Nah,
dude, they're not funny. Trust me.
Watch movies with his fiance.
Trust me, nobody wants me doing taxes or insurance.
He's so special. I hate doing them, and I barely have to do them.
That's what you're supposed to do as an adult.
Yeah, doesn't mean you don't. We want to do it.
Trev, you have no idea what it's like.
Speaking of scary things like taxes and insurance.
I have an inkling of one, but sure.
Ooh, so. Well, speaking of scary things like taxes and insurance, Brickfilms.
Whoop whoop.
Wow, that was great.
Actually, was pretty good.
Yeah, I mean,
10 out of 10.
You hit the nail on the head with that one, which is kind of
this is our staple.
Disappointing.
Welcome to the Frame100 podcast. Terrible segues. 4 days.
Exactly.
Oh my. Alright, well, time to move on because boo.
Yeah. So, last week we discussed a recent contest filled with fright and fear, shall we say. But this time around, I'd like to open up the scope and just talk about spooky, scary brick films that shiver down your spine, or that just kind of crash landed.
Skeletons.
Oh wow! Kind of funny you mentioned that song specifically because that ties into one of the films I wanted to highlight here.
Do it to it, Lars.
Which one? With this perfect segue.
If anybody in the comments can figure out what movie that's from, I'll shout you out. Anyway.
Good luck not getting a shout out. Or good luck not having to shout anybody out. Yeah, so we have here the Cavern. We have here the Cavern Dweller by Lots of Toast, a Halloween brick film, which is always a personal favorite of mine. I love going back to this one during the Halloween season. Toast, we miss you and your animation endeavors. We know you've been doing so much art, but we miss the animation, sir. I need him back. My son, he's gone.
You're taking this well.
Yep. I love this film so much. It's so simple. It's concise. It's got some great like set. There's so much scope to all the sets within it. Despite the fact that like the sets are the most bare bones sets I've ever seen in a film. Like the BTS that he shared on Twitter, I believe, was just so cool. Because literally what you see in frame is all that was built for the actual film, and it's just so well
it's
done.
Like less than 40 bricks total, I think,
which is crazy. Like,
yeah, it's just an amalgamation of slope pieces and a base plate and a singular light, and the mini
couple lights. Yeah, but it's just I love it, and the punchline at the end is just, it's perfect. It's an evergreen meme that will never die.
Which I'm going to take that for a second before we discuss more films. Because we sort of touched on this in the last episode. I don't feel like we really got to run far with it. But when it comes down to spooky brick films, just to use a general term, how far can you go scary and how far can you go comedic?
I mean, I think we've seen the comedic side plenty of times. Like, I feel like when most people think of brick filming, or just, I guess, Lego in general, Lego films in general, your immediate reaction is comedy anyways. So I think we've seen that side plenty. In terms of scary, well, no promises, but you'll probably be seeing some of that soon for me.
Yeah, soon.
No promises,
Been
right?
Trev,
No promises.
Lego Hid Inside, Moon's Haunted confirmed!
No. No.
I mean, I could have gone a more cliched route, but we all know how that ends up.
Exactly. Nobody has any fun, myself especially.
Yeah. Like, I've noticed this about quite a few different brick films where I feel like the term spooky these days doesn't mean something scary or frightening, but it sort of just means that general playful atmosphere revolving around spookiness. Like spooky, scary skeletons. They're not scary at all. It kind of has a fun charm to it.
Mm-hmm.
And so you kind of adopted the idea of spooky being a thing for, say, The Cavern Dweller, for Frankenstew, Spudson's film. That's another one that comes to mind.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. A Deal to Die For, 2 free sandwiches.
The worst horror film I've ever seen. Gosh.
I think it's better
The
than the
best
original.
horror
personally.
satire, sir.
I wish that one could get wiped from the face of the earth, man. Ugh, it's disgusting.
Get my password and you can try. Trev, you're the reason I have 2-factor authentication on my account.
Wow.
Just to be safe.
Wow, you're so kind, sir. Man.
Yes, I'm so kind to future me.
Yeah.
Yeah. But see, I think Frankenstew is another really good example. I'd like to bring up that one next year. It's very much so, I feel like it falls that spooky category. The lighting's kind of colorful with some neon greens and purples and reds. The sound design is impeccable. Like, I know he's cooking up a monster, but it actually sounds delicious. I don't know how that even works. And of course, there's a little like humor sting right at the end within the last, say, 20 seconds or so. I think this is another good example alongside Cavern Dweller that sort of captures that sort of spooky atmosphere, as opposed to being straight up horror, thriller, or scary.
Yeah. Again, I want to see people dive more into the spooky side of things. Make me jump out my skin, but
well, like that's what I'm getting at. It's not. That's not spooky though. That's scary.
Scary.
Scary is where you jump out of your skin. Spooky is where you have a sort of whimsy to elements that I guess would classically be considered scary,
Chris.
like skeletons, Frankenstein's monster, vampires, locking yourself out of your apartment in the middle of the night and you're wearing a towel.
Am I scared that I can relate to that? Yes.
I think we need to have a chat after this podcast.
And it wasn't in the middle of the night, but we're just gonna shift away from that. Yeah. No, Sam, what were you gonna say? What's your favorite? What do you want to talk about right now?
I would say mine is an older one, and it was featured very much in Penta's studio history video. It was the scary thriller director's cut that was made for a contest for Lego. And it was made in, God, I gotta go look. I don't even know when it was made. It was like early 2000s. So
well, people can refer to Penta's video to find out the date.
Yeah, go watch
I'm
that.
gonna
It's
guess
actually really
after-
good. But this was the video that made me make a bump in the night. Bump in the night. I still have there's a variation between the titles. It made me do it just because it looked interesting, and I know there's 2 versions, and it's the only one I know of where there's 2 different versions of it because Lego didn't like the first version. The first version, the one we're talking about, has a more creepy ending, whereas the second version that Lego wanted had it ended with a dance party. And
yeah,
it's just
yes.
the animation, like nothing's really brick built. Everything's built from like models or like clay, but the only thing that's really
Cardboard
built is
and
the
papercraft.
car, and I think Frankenstein's lab. Everything else isn't Lego, but it's Lego figures.
The front door is too. The front door to the castle is as well.
Oh yeah. Oh, and that was cool. Whenever the skeletons come through the door, it looks like the door is actually breaking. Like he has it built with, I think it's like 1x4 tile, brown tile, and
yeah,
it's just
it's a great little. It's a great little reference to the George A. Romero.
Yeah.
Why am I
But-
blanking on the title of the movie?
Night of the Living Dead.
Night of the Living Dead. That's right. Yeah.
But it's really well, and it like I said, the first time I watched it, like was in Penta's video, and I went and hunted down and found it, and it instantly captured me. It was, you could tell it was definitely very kid friendly, but it was still kind of creepy, and it's a shame that Lego made them cut it down to just some funny dance party. It's just really
It is, yeah.
it's really well done. When this releases, I'll post a link to it because it's just super good, super well done. Yeah, I think it's
I
like the
believe it's,
oldest one we're
I'm
talking
sorry.
about. I think, is it? It might be.
Probably.
Yeah. So that's my pick.
I would dare say so.
I've got another one, but that one can we'll go another. We won't go round robin, but there's two I want to talk about, but we can talk about another one first if you want.
Well, the thing is, I'm pretty sure that Brickfilm was made to promote the studio's line of horror, or I guess classic horror sets.
Yeah.
Yeah, Universal
There were three of
Studios
them.
horror related stuff. Yeah.
Was it Universal Studios? Because I feel like it's just general horror.
Because it wasn't specifically to market for Universal Studios, but like Universal Studios classic monsters. It's like all
Yeah.
based on that sort of stuff.
It was based around the studios.
I mean, yeah, that's fair.
The studio sets, but they started leaning towards more classic, like Trev said, more classic monster. So I think
Yeah.
it was used to promote that. I think it was for Universal because they own all the rights to like Dracula and Frankenstein, all that stuff. But yeah, I think that's what it was used for, and
Not quite sure.
It's super well done. I mean, I said that before, but
Yeah.
yeah, it was just cool that it was made with just the studio's camera. And there's a whole thing behind the whole studio's camera, but just
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
Go
again,
watch-
Penta's video has
Say,
a great little
go-
explanation of all that stuff.
go give a little gander to Penta's history video. It is, as they say in Spanish, very good.
Penta the goat.
He is.
Yes,
He is indeed. So somebody else go. I talked enough.
You have.
All right.
Marcus, what about you, sir?
My favorite horror brick film, right?
I guess, yeah, like one of your favorites, because we're going to be talking about multiple here, so throw out
I'm gonna
whichever
go
one you want to
with
talk about.
two.
Cool.
The classic, you gotta go for Fancy Pants Clone Halloween. Give
Oh
me
my
the candy.
gosh, yes!
That one, that was a classic.
Give me the candy.
That's like the best.
When did they let
Wow,
Cartman in here?
that's a throwback.
Yeah, right.
Respect my authority.
Especially with the Thriller song, I was like, my God, he's just like overplaying this Thriller song, and it's great.
I love
And then,
that film.
I guess my other favorite, and I think I watched it recently. It might have been the DAC entry. I don't remember quite well. I actually don't remember the title for some odd reason because I literally spent 5 minutes searching for it. But it's
What?
it's the one where like they're doing a heist and then there's a mummy or something.
Oh, Gary's
Oh, yes.
recent Brawl
Yes.
film.
Yes.
Um,
Oh, it's a brawl
yeah.
entry. Oh,
It was a Brawl entry, yes. Oh gosh, I'm
Oh, no
blanking
wonder
on the
I couldn't
title
find
of it now myself.
I'm going to go find it right now. I know
Quick.
exactly what you're thinking of.
Quick,
but,
Chris, Godspeed.
yeah.
Google
Go,
faster.
go. All right, Brawl 2020. Hashtag Brawl 2020. Brawl 2020 entries. Why am I narrating this as we're going? But yeah,
It's
I
to keep
agree.
it-
Like, that
Night
one is
Guard.
actually...
The Night Guard, that's right. Yes.
You had me by like 10 seconds.
Got
Night
him.
Guard, yes. My search history, gotta love it. But yeah, no, I enjoyed Night Guard a lot because like it actually was the first like Lego brick film to give me a jump scare. I was like, oh crap, that was out of nowhere. So yeah.
Oh gosh,
That was in my two.
I'm remembering now. What was the film of mine that scared Jared? Oh, it was my Thack film. That's right, my Thack film from 2 years ago. Which
Did he
of
get
course...
scared when the dude just hit him with the stick?
Well, no, yeah, like when the guy, when there's the two guys like in the control room, when the monster like escapes out of like escapes from behind the glass. Yeah, he like jumps out at like the two people that are in the control room, and Jared told me that like that legitimately spooked him, and I was like, hey, that was the intent. There we go. So I guess I realized I have actually made a horror film before. It just wasn't called A Deal to Die For.
Yeah, it's just not the one that we want.
Yeah. It was called Specimen C.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Outbreak, I think was the name of it.
Your Thack video.
My Thack video from years ago. Yeah. Well, 2 years ago, right? I'm
Yeah,
trying to
2
find
years.
it myself right now. Yeah, 2 years. Specimen C
back
Outbreak. That's
2019.
right. The one where I won 10th place. Not trying to flex, but I'm so sorry.
Weird flex.
I can flex too, Trev, but I'm not going to.
Oh wow. With what muscle? Ooh.
Sam's more swole than you are. Just embrace it.
That's true. It's true. Chris, what about you, sir? Give us another film.
Or should we get back to brick films? Let me think. I kind of brought up Frankenstein earlier, which was a good one. I'm trying to think of like more spooky ones because I feel like that's a fun thread to run down. Shoot. I was looking at a playlist earlier.
We had a plan, guys.
Playlists.
I promise we had a plan.
What? I think listeners know by now that we never have a plan. By having a plan,
true.
It means we have no plan.
I tell them multiple times, let's just wing it, and no. We have to go hard.
Well, I mean, hang on. If Trev gets to reference Specimen C, do I get to reference my Hidden Side film?
Yeah.
I guess you can.
Technically, it's supposed to be scary. It is Hidden Side.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, how about I open this up a little bit more? I've noticed there are a lot of Hidden Side films, but a lot of them tend to be kind of more campy, goofy, and don't really take on the aspect that it's, ghosts. I know there's one... Actually, here, watch this. I'll just type in Hidden Side Lego in the search bar, see what pops up. Okay, well, the mini-sodes don't count. But I noticed that they have a lot of these, for lack of a better word, Hickoxian films.
Oh yeah.
There's a lot of films that are like in that weird gray area there. Yeah.
Yeah, where you know the style I'm talking about, where it's the same walk cycles that exist in two axes of movement, very simple plot structure, virtually no dialogue, very bright and not a lot of VFX work and stuff. Which is kind of a shame because I feel like Hidden Side is a treasure trove for spooky brick films. I know Jumbo Gage and I were talking a while ago after we did my first Hidden Side film, and we wanted to do a second one, but unfortunately the wave kind of being canceled, the momentum's kind of dying, so we might just find a way to crank out one and kind of maybe poke a little bit of fun at the fact that Hidden Side's up. I know the one joke we wanted to do is the old NASA Moon's Haunted joke that's been circling on Tumblr forever.
I thought that this was my pedigree here, Chris.
Well, see, here's the thing. I said you should just take this idea and run with it, but you never did. You're like, I want to finish my horror film. And then,
I do have other things on my plate currently. I'm sorry that I have a life.
We didn't tell you to make. We didn't tell you to take 18 credit hours.
Oh, here's the thing, Trevor. You're not supposed to have a life. You're supposed to have brick films.
Dude, I do.
That's how I roll.
They're taking a while to get done. All right, cut me some slack, please. I beg you.
Okay, here. I gotta do this because you flexed it. I'm gonna flex. I managed to finish my master's dissertation and still crank out like 9 brick films this year. Bruh. It can be done.
Bruh.
I was able to procrastinate on Ace Brickman and
you weren't a part of this conversation, Sam. Screw off.
I'm inviting Sam in. I'm roping Sam in now.
No, that's not allowed. You can't virtually do that.
I work a full-time job. I have a dog, I have a mortgage, I have insurance, and I still managed to pump out 3 animations this year. plus 4
I'm
if
roping in Marcus now.
things work
Because
out.
Marcus is working on a film too.
I
think-
actually have been procrastinating on that film for like the past month. I should really finish it tomorrow.
See,
Marcus,
I
I
am
was
not the
recording.
only one. I am not. The
I'm
only
roping
one.
Marcus
Oh, you're
out
not
of
the
this
only one
conversation
procrastinating.
because he's hurting my point.
You are not the only one procrastinating, sir. I have been working on Ace Brickman since January, and every time I get something new, I'm like, I want to do a Blade Runner film, and I'm like, I need to finish Ace Brickman, though. So, I built a little tiny Blade Runner mod.
Okay.
You fool. You
Well,
fool.
confession time then. I got the Bob and Randy episode 6 script. I've had multiple people, different people asking me about how it's going. I'm still kind of just in the slow writer's block, and I procrastinated on that to make an Among Us film. So I guess
Shameless hack.
I don't have a
ladies
whole lot
and
of
gentlemen.
copy.
Actually,
Hey, I
Shameless
got
hack.
I got 2,500 views on that in a couple days.
Okay,
I'm
this
feeling pretty good
this
about my life
wasn't
right
an
now.
opening for you to gloat. All right, Chris, we're moving on.
You
all right.
started this.
Getting
You
back
started
into
this.
horror film, I think the scariest thing about this whole episode is that little tangent we just went on. But getting us back on track, I want to talk about if Chris was going to talk about Hidden Side, which I would argue is my favorite spooky Lego theme.
I'm glad it's gone.
My second favorite.
I said it.
I hate you so much. My second favorite, and a very classic one, I think, to all of us, Monster Fighters. Love those sets
yes.
so much.
Oh,
Such
yeah.
a cool line of sets. Such a cool line of sets. It gave us one of the best modular buildings to date, being the Haunted House. Not the one that was just released this year that's based on the Adventures theme, but the one that was based on Monster Fighters with Dracula and Frankenstein and stuff.
Adventures was better.
All right, whatever. So the film I want to talk about is back when Monster Fighters was a thing, Lego was making a lot of films, a lot of not only stop motion films, but like just 3D animated films and just a bunch of like films in general to kind of like promote the whole series. But there's one that always sticks out in my mind, which is the Lego Rebrick, which I know Marcus and I were reminiscing about that earlier because that's a name that we haven't heard in a long time. But it was the Lego Rebrick Halloween competition, Monster Fighters Party Crashers, which is a film that consists of pretty much all of the main characters from the Monster Fighter series converging on Lord Vampire in his final hours.
Wait, his
as
name
they're
was
about to
Lord
take him
Vampire?
down.
Are you serious?
Yeah, Lord Vampire. You don't
Was it
remember
Dracula?
that? No, it was Lord
Yep,
Vampire.
it was Lord Vampire.
Vampire spelled
But
with
with
a
a
Y
Y.
because we're edgy over here in Lego territory. But I love that film because it's another one that's like it's got all that it's very kooky, but like it takes a lot from very classic horror tropes and stuff. I miss that theme. That theme in general was really, really cool. I think you see a lot of that, like the DNA in that in Hidden Side nowadays. But I think what is it? I think Monster Fighters had a lot of really cool stuff going for it. It's a shame that Lego didn't really continue with it any longer than they did.
Well, it's funny because according to Lego, this video was made by Digital Wizards.
Well, that
Wait,
makes sense.
seriously?
That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm reading it right here on the YouTube description.
Well, because I know Chris Salaces, he also did a film for Monster Fighters that was like featured by them pretty prominently. Of course, I'm blanking on the name of it right now, but it was like I think it was a costume. Yeah, it was a costume party or costume contest. And I can't remember the name of that one, but I will have to look for that as we speak.
And I'm blanking on the name of that as well.
For some odd reason, I thought Scooby-Doo came out first before Monster Fighters, but I was wrong. Scooby-Doo came out in 2015.
Yeah, that's another one.
And I'm
Yeah,
like, yo,
Scooby-Doo.
man, you
Oh,
can't
yeah.
be Scooby-Doo. But then I'm like, oh, wait, what? Got my facts wrong?
So,
You did, in fact.
talking about Scooby-Doo, I actually wrote a script back in college for not Ace Brickman. Wow. It's Supernatural meets the Scooby-Doo gang. And I wrote it,
Wow.
and I actually almost did it, and then Supernatural announced that they were doing a crossover with Scooby-Doo, and I was like, nah, not gonna finish it.
Nah.
So I rewrote
Well, to be
it.
fair, there have been
I rewrote
crazy
it into like an
crossovers.
actual Supernatural episode, and I couldn't finish it. I was like, I had the characters all built, I had the set built, I had the car, and then I was like, I should probably work on my senior project. So I started working on Ace Brickman. It just never happened. I still have the script somewhere, but it was Scooby-Doo.
You gotta hate it when school gets in the way of whatever you wanted to do.
The one thing I didn't like about the Scooby-Doo theme, and I'm going to take this over real quick, you had to pay buku cash to get all 5 characters?
5, yeah.
Well, I guess we count Scooby as a character.
Shaggy and Scooby, yep.
You had to pay buku cash to get all of them. You could get 100 Scoobies and Shaggies, but you could not.
Yeah.
But you had to spend at least $200 to get all figures. And I thought I don't like that practice that Lego does, but
They still do it, and it still works for them.
Hang on, what sets did you have to get? Because I know you had to get the Mystery Machine for Fred.
Yes.
yeah.
Which that's still a great set. Like I think that's one of the coolest and most faithful Lego recreations of like any IP or property or whatever. So cool.
Oh, hang on, actually. So you got the Mystery Machine, which gave you Fred and Shaggy and Scooby, of course, and then the Haunted Lighthouse, which gave you Velma and Daphne. So you only had to cough out about $80 to get both of those.
Both of them. Yeah.
Compared to with aftermarket now, it's impossible to give up on your dreams and go live under a bridge. But at the time, it wasn't too bad.
Still, it's just a lot, and
Yeah.
I agree. I did like the series, but I never really got any of the sets, unfortunately. Same with Monster Hunters. I never got Monster Hunter sets either.
I mean, Monster Fighters,
whatever.
Potato.
I have to correct you when you're down. Also, I found the name of the Mini Life film. It was Lego Halloween Special, the Spook Contest.
Ooh.
Wow, that was great, Marcus. Speaking of Mini Life,
Spookiest
I'm
part
remembering
aside
how the first year that I decided not to go out and trick or treat.
Last year.
Wow, yeah, you're funny. It would have been like 3.
I thought that was funny, but whatever.
Jeez, all right. It would have been like 4 or 5 years ago, I'm thinking at this point. Regardless, it was the year that Chris was releasing the end of the season 4 arc, I believe, with the X team. I remember that the final episode premiered Halloween night. And that was just like I kind of partially skipped out because I was like, ooh, I want to watch this as soon as I possibly can. But yeah, that was I was just remembering that, like, because that's crazy, because that was years ago now. I miss Mini Life, but I know Chris is very busy with working on lots of cool stuff to continue that series.
So
I'm very excited for all of it.
Yes.
Can I clear the air real quick? I have never watched
You're about to
Mini
throw
Life TV.
Oh my god.
Well, no matter who you are or who you want to be, you're all welcome here at Mini Life TV.
Like, I follow him on
we're
Twitter.
2 different parts
I'm
of the
subscribed
song
to him. I never sat down and actually watched an episode, and I feel bad. But again, it's like, I don't know if it's just because it never interested me, but nothing against the guy who made it. That's impressive, but I just wasn't like.
Sounds like we're firing 2 people of the Frame100 podcast.
Okay, here's my.
Yeah,
Okay.
Sam
Marcus,
has
you and I
opened
will be the
himself
only
up
ones
for a
left.
dumpster fire.
I said 2.
When have I-
A bomb fire.
Trev, when have I ever closed myself to a dumpster fire? I'm always a dumpster fire. Have you seen my Twitter? Anyway,
Yes, and I, for one, can't wait
I'm sorry.
to see you die.
Hang on. I'm getting a call here. Ring, ring. Hello? Ninjago Fun Facts, how are you doing?
Ninjago
Wow.
fun fact of the day: Marcus did also not watch the Mini Life TV as well.
Oh my god, y'all.
Okay.
Well, you two
Joy.
have homework. You two have
I'm
homework.
literally the last
I
host
actually
standing.
did watch, like,
the
the
rest
first
of y'all
episode.
got fired.
I got no
I did watch
homework.
the first episode, but then that was it.
What was I was gonna say
I
something.
will say,
And I think, okay, I know what I got my train of thought back. I think the reason I didn't watch Mini Life TV was because I didn't discover the animation community until I was like 17. So I wasn't super into mini life TV. I was just like, yeah, this looks cool, but I mean,
I think it's like that would have been the perfect age to really go into it because it definitely does not come across as a kids show. It's pretty mature at parts.
Oh, I know, but I think what I see it as, for no offense to you guys, it's a nostalgia thing. I think
that is partially it.
I just didn't.
Well, I guess kind of.
Like, I just didn't grow up. I just didn't watch it as when it was first coming out, and there's a lot of things I regret about when I was that age, but
I think we all kind of regret stuff from that age, especially myself, because that was only 3 years ago.
Yes, so, you are youngin'. Anyway,
I am a youngin'.
Mini Life TV, never watched. I probably need to start watching it. To Chris,
you have homework, sir.
I know.
To
Chris,
homework.
if you're watching this, I sincerely apologize. I like your tweets, but I just haven't watched the show. Don't hate me because you ate me.
It's okay. I forgive you. I don't hate you. I forgive you.
Oh, sorry. Okay,
this man is going to get publicly shamed, and I, for one, can't wait to watch all of it.
I mean,
I will
Trev,
say this
to be fair, you made a tweet today about wanting to watch classic monster movies, and you didn't even think people are going to respond back with A Deal to Die For. I don't know why you made that tweet, because
what do you mean?
I
that was the first thing I anticipated, honestly.
You opened a can of worms for that. And my man,
you were the only one who took advantage of it.
My man Nick Douglas responded back, I am so proud of you. I'm drinking a beer and I'm clinking to you right now.
Wow.
Like, Nick Douglas is now my favorite honorary Frame100 host.
Toast to Nick Douglas.
My man.
Nick is our man.
My man.
Before a single host could say a thing, Nick swoops in on Trev's tweet with A Deal to Die For. That dude's amazing.
Yeah.
Okay. I will say this though, Sam. It was only about a year, maybe year and a half ago, where I actually sat down and watched all of Mini Life TV. I only saw like one episode maybe when it came around, so for me it really wasn't nostalgia, but it definitely holds up pretty well.
Oh, it holds up incredibly well. Like,
I think you might enjoy it. First few episodes, they're a bit rough in places because just you're starting off the animation. But honestly, I think you'd really enjoy it if you give it a shot. So there's my motivation.
Buddy duo comedy sort of thing.
I think I
eventually
will.
When we interview Chris and Ian.
Here's the thing.
You definitely will after this point in time because everyone's not gonna let you hold up without watching it.
You know what, Trev? Things happen.
You're not going to be able to walk 5 feet outside once all this pandemic stuff is over before somebody comes up to you and says, Hey Sam, have you watched Mini Life TV yet? To which you respond, no. And then you'll get publicly shamed for it again.
Here's the thing, though. I'm also publicly shamed because I didn't like Spider-Verse. So it's not like I'm not used to it. I'm pretty sure I'm hated in the animation community.
All in all, I think this episode has just proved the fact that Sam is a heathen. Let us move on. Actually, speaking to the point of Mini Life TV, I'm remembering now. So I explained this story before, but back when I started watching my first couple Brick films, like ever, the second episode of Mini Life TV was the second Brick film that I can recollect having watched. The one before that, which is kind of crazy to think about, is a film called Lego Ghost Train, which is, wouldn't you know it, an actual, legitimate Lego stop-motion horror film. And if that doesn't speak, what's the word? If that doesn't speak to complete irony of the situation that I'm currently in right now, I don't know what does.
There's a ghost train and A Deal to Die For. We cracked the code, guys.
Wow, I hate you so much.
I already know how it's going to end.
Yeah.
Satan's going to show
up. Nick Douglas
up,
was the key all along.
Like, somebody dies unexpectedly, and Satan's going to be like, sup, fam? You want to bring him back to life? And be like, yeah, sure. And then the dad comes back all evil and stuff, and then they're like, oh, well, can we take him back? Nah, no returns. And then that's where it ends.
I don't like that you're wasting our time with this because we've all talked about this before.
Oh, I know. I just like bringing it up because I know
where's the ghost train, though?
You're very unfunny,
Where's the ghost train?
Dude, that's my entire shtick. I'm very unfunny.
So with this Ghost Train video, it's funny because I go back to it and it actually is what, like we were talking about earlier, with horror films kind of, or with, I guess, Lego films being able to strike kind of like into that horror, going a bit more beyond spooky, tapping into that horror side. This film has such a good aesthetic to it. It's got, like, part of it is because the lighting is just so god awful, but it really does lend a lot to the atmosphere within the film, because it's this creepy, you know, like it's one of those classic like train attractions where you're just going, like you're sitting in a car going through a haunted house and you know, just experiencing all these things jumping out at you and whatever. And it's just like, yeah, I just remember the aesthetics of that film are so cool. And again, it's crazy to think that that's kind of like where I got my start when it came to watching brick films, quote unquote. And now here we are. It's poetic irony that I am here attempting to make a horror film when I started my journey watching one. That is where I will speak my piece.
And he will end his journey not releasing one.
Exactly.
Wow.
To be fair, okay, Trev, I gotta give you the benefit of the doubt. You're probably
I don't need your benefit of the doubt. I'm gonna finish it before Ace Brickman 3. Yes, I know that's exactly what you were gonna say.
I was gonna say
I'm perfectly fine. You all think that I'm taking this hard? No, I'm perfectly fine. I'm doing just great over here. You know, yeah, I'm not like, you know, freaking out or anything. It's going just great. It's going just wonderful. Peachy keen.
I am
Trev's gonna melt down.
Absolutely great. Never been better at any point in my life until now. Thank you very much. I'm going to go take a nap because, oh my god, I might pass out.
Easy killer. What I was going to say was I will give you the benefit of the doubt. I cannot make any adult
I don't need you to
jokes.
patronize me, Sam. I don't need you to patronize me.
Do you want the compliment?
I'm not 5.
Do you want the compliment?
No.
All right.
I don't need anything from you.
Fight.
Let them fight.
Gosh,
Let them fight.
I didn't think this was going to turn into Mortal Kombat.
I hope your son becomes a furry.
Fatality.
Finish him.
I said what I said.
Jeez. All right, get us back on track here, Chris.
I'm
okay.
pretty sure
This has
All right.
got to
like
be the
road
worst
trip.
episode
Here,
we've ever
just
recorded.
a
I will
note,
say-
a tangent of sorts.
No. Can I?
After Sam.
I was going to say, I'm
Yeah,
going to
go
talk
for it.
about a film and then I'll stop. But
Go ahead.
I want to talk
You should
about...
have stopped a long time ago.
Why are you so aggressive towards me? I have done nothing this podcast.
I wonder.
I have done
Continue,
nothing
sir.
this podcast. I have done
Continue.
nothing.
I mean,
Continue.
it ain't exactly an Agatha Christie novel here.
Our listeners are really gonna.
Okay,
love this episode.
Hercule Poirot.
All right.
Jeez.
I want to talk about Dr. Grimm's foul
This
formula.
is the worst bit we've ever tried to do.
Yes, that is a good one.
Trev, you're ruining my moment. You step on my moment, I'm gonna kick you from the call. Anyway, Dr. Grimm's foul formula. It's a really good brick film. It was made by, oh god, who was it made by? Animation Base 1. And I think it was made for Fright and Fear, maybe. Yeah, it was. But it's really good. It's good animation. It's got some comedy in it. So basically what it is a scientist makes this a thing. Like it's like a potion that can bring it. Basically, it's Reanimator, but not Reanimator. So it's like he makes this agent, and then he puts a skeleton into it, and then the skeleton comes back to life, and he goes trick or treating for the evil scientist. And the animation in it is really good. It's really the bubbling is cool. The lighting is really cool. I don't know if he's using black light to make all the green glow, or if he's using brick stuff. I can't tell. But and then the ending is really good too. I'm pretty happy with it. I don't know if anybody else watched it, but
I did. I quite liked it. I think my only little complaint about it, I mean, it's fine, big deal, but the way it was written, like you find out why he created the monster, and it's kind of that's a comedic, spooky angle that we've been talking about. But I felt like it went on a little too long after that. Like it should have just cut with that joke and called it good. But then, honestly, like that's just a minor thing. The visuals are great. The lighting's fantastic.
Yeah.
And this guy does look like he's a more recent animator. Like he's fairly new to the art in the community. But man, he manages to like step out with a good foot forward. So I quite enjoy it, and I kind of hope he'll be doing some more stuff because he's got some talent. I'm
still kind of curious if he used a black light. I feel like he did, but I'm not 100% sure. Like to make,
I'm pretty sure he did.
Like to make some of those fluorescent greens glow. I can't tell if it was a black light or if it was like a light through the bottom. You know what I mean?
I remember watching this film back when it released, and I'm trying to... I do believe it's just a very bright light that he's using. I don't think it's black light, because it would be a lot shinier. There wouldn't be as much like light spilling off from it.
10 out of 10. That would literally hurt your eyes.
Yeah.
By a lot.
Exactly.
So I don't think anybody would use that.
I think it's actually LEDs. I think it's like an LED strip, because I have LED strips that illuminate the Lego on my shelf. If I turn it to like a blue or a purple, and I shine it on some of my Avenger sets, like with the AIM agents and all their transparent green parts, those kind of glow. Kind of like a couple of the displays you saw at Brick Fair. Yeah. So I don't think you specifically need a black light. You just need an LED light on the blue-purple end.
Yeah,
but I think that's what he did.
I know one of the things I like the most about the film is the voice acting. Voice acting is really, really, really fun. It's very comical. I always love me some like very comedic, over the top voice acting. It's always a treat, trick or treat.
The ending I really liked. I know Chris said you could have ended it, but I think it was really good to end on like the sharing note. I don't know. I feel like I like that. I agree with Chris. If you wanted to end it to make it funnier, you could have ended it right there. But I feel like at the end, the scientist sharing with the skeleton the candy, I kind of like that. I thought that was really, I don't know, heartwarming. I don't know. I'm a big old baby when it comes to that stuff. But I really liked.
You
I
are
the
a
ending.
big old baby.
Yeah.
I just need diapers.
I feel like that works. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But
I know if I was in his case, I would have the scene where they're eating the candy. Like that would be the scene in the background where my credits are rolling.
Oh, okay.
So you kind of end with the last impression like that.
But
like for the sake of the story, I feel like that's where the joke reaches its climax. I mean, hey, I didn't write it, so I only get so much say on the matter, I guess.
Everyone's a critic. All right.
Either way.
Whoa, that's.
Either way. Really good job. What did I say? Animation Base 1. Really good job. Proud of you. We'll put all the videos we talked about in the description of the YouTube video, so people can go and find out what we talked about. But I think those are the only two I really had to talk about. I can't think of anything else.
I've gotten all of mine out of the way. I mean, I think a given is to talk about Darkmoor. I think we've spoken our piece about that film plenty in the past. Another really good horror film to talk about from Annoying Noises Productions would be We the Pumpkins 3. That's another one that I think is really good at kind of balancing that spook to comedy factor. Some great script writing in that. Some awesome lighting and atmosphere in that one as well.
You know what? I actually haven't seen it.
Wow. Yeah, your list is probably just as long as my just general movie watching list.
Well, to be fair,
your Sam's brickfilming list to my cinematic movie.
Well, list. Okay. Here's my defense for everybody that hates me. Here's my defense for people that hate me. When I come home, I literally turn on TV or I play PlayStation. I never get on my laptop unless I'm animating. When I'm at work, I play YouTube videos in the background while I'm working. But I just do mind-numbing gaming commentaries or movie scenes. If I do an animation, I have to sit down and watch it. I just don't do that very often. I'm not really on YouTube as much to watch animations. And I feel like that's something I'm trying to change. But I just haven't been super active. So if you If you guys have an animation and I haven't seen it, I apologize. Don't hate me.
It's because Sam hates you.
Don't hate me,
It's
but
because Sam wants
I'm not your
Brickfilming to
mom,
end.
so you can do whatever you want.
I'm not your dad either.
Yep. Ask him for the Ace Brickman Dr. Scar crossover.
Exactly.
Oh,
I
don't
didn't
do
say
that, because I will make it.
Well, you better now.
The Rose Killer was Hans.
I mean,
I've been
technically,
waiting
Rumor,
over
I
2
can't
years
tell
for
them
that.
it's
Wait.
not.
What if Dr. Scar can actually solve the mystery in like 3 seconds of entering the world? It's like, yeah, it's this guy.
well,
It's
he
like, what?
knows the script, so So you guys want me to spoil?
You haven't
want me-
written
you
out
guys want
the
me to
full
spoil Ace
script.
Brickman for you?
Save it. Save it.
The
for
No,
another day.
no,
The Rose
no.
Killer.
You literally cut the podcast right
No.
here.
The
Save
Rose
it for
Killer
another day, Sam.
is Dr. Scar.
Okay, whatever. Hey, Chris, let's jump into our
I
next
give up.
topic. Let's jump into
I
our
am
next topic. here,
unsubscribing
Chris.
right now.
I've had it up to here
Boom.
with Sam.
There we go.
I'm done. I'm done for the day. I need him out.
Man, there we go.
I can leave.
I don't even care about episode 3 anymore. You do your own CGI.
Mm.
Okay.
I'm kidding. But like Sam, I get that. Like we all get really busy around this time of year. I know for me personally, like the school gets crazy. We're talking already about the Christmas collabs. So it's gonna get crazier.
Oh
And
God.
I'm staring at this this Halo Master Chief helmet that I'm trying to make for Spookyween, and that's been occupying a lot of time.
Don't you mean Spooktober? That's what we're doing.
Whatever.
After all.
Spookmas, I don't care.
Spookmas, Spooktober, Spooktoberfest. Anything will work.
Spookentine's Day. Spookentine's Day. That's my favorite.
Spookentine's Day.
Sometimes,
Spookentine's Day.
I mean, either one
Well,
works.
no, that's honestly, I really don't care about Halloween. I think the aesthetic is kind of like it's kind of cheesy, and I really don't care much about
You're
presents of
cheesy.
candy. Your face is cheesy,
Yes.
but the one thing I
This
really
pizza
do like
I've got
is
is
that
cheesy.
the one
Yeah,
thing I
yeah.
do
I'm not
like
sharing. Why
about
would I share? Y'all don't
Halloween
deserve it.
is that it gives me an excuse to just wear whatever I want.
Exactly.
And my old roommate and I, we did that a whole lot. So if you watch my Brick Fair vlog, I know you guys met him. Chase and I, we'd always try to like either coordinate our costumes or go to the same event and work on costumes together. And so one year I went as Green Arrow and he went as Flash. And that was right around the time of the first like Green Arrow and Flash crossover on the CW. So that was a ton of fun. And I know that the one time we did a party, he did the Black Power Ranger, and then I did Daredevil from season 1. And let me tell you, I could not see a thing the entire party, but it was a ton of fun.
Hey, so it was in good taste, right? You were being accurate to the character.
Pretty much, yeah. No, what I did was I got like this piece of black cloth from Joann's that I could kind of see through, like enough to not like bump into people. But if you ask me to like read a sign or something, I'd just be like, "Justice is blind," or whatever it was.
What are we, Batman now?
Gee, that's next year.
This year, I'm probably gonna go as either Indiana Jones because I have a fedora, or Gym Coach. I don't have the mustache this year, but I might just go as a Gym Coach. Anyway, get a headband or something.
Oh, we need to bring back the Gym Coach Sam memes.
Yes,
Oh,
sir.
dude, I will make one just for you guys. I will take a picture just for you. Oh, I'm going as a Gym
yes.
Coach.
Yes. Like I said, you have
Please
plenty of
do
time
it.
to grow the stash out. You've got this, man. You've got this.
No, I
Yeah.
That's pretty
don't. I
good.
can't grow a mustache.
You're
that
you're
fast.
gonna be fine. Yes, you can. I know for me, yeah, like I did trick or treating and stuff up until I was like 15-ish. So I haven't done it for a number of years. I always loved dressing up. I think some people saw it on Twitter. I dressed up as Peter B. Parker last year, for Halloween. That was a riot doing that around.
Dude, you actually nailed that.
I did. I
on
literally,
point.
and the best part is I cobbled that whole costume together the night before. I initially was
My
just like, I'm gonna be
goodness.
Spider-Man because I bought, like the big onesie suit and was just gonna do that. And then I started talking to some people and I realized like, oh, I have a jacket. It's not a trench coat, but it's the same color. It works. It looks similar. My roommate had like a boot I could use, and I had like one of my own shoes that I thought matched like the mismatched shoes. And then I had another friend who had some sweatpants and that were like the exact same style and color. And so he let me borrow those too. And yeah, I ended up being able to put that costume together really, really well. And then, like I said last week, I was planning on doing Tintin from the Adventures of Tintin comics this year. I was going to go the whole 9 yards, get the actual haircut, spray my hair the orange color and everything. But I don't know if that's going to happen anymore, just because I don't think I have a reason to go out this year. But I'm just trying to think, what are some of the other costumes I've done in years past? I know I was Dash one year from The Incredibles.
I think the last time I also did trick-or-treating was like when I was 14, like freshman year of high school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say I miss it.
Just
To get candy,
to run around in
because I just like getting candy.
Oh my god, that reminds me of this actually. So.
Oh great, we got
that one...
this is what I wanted to do, just a bunch of fun, stupid Halloween stories.
Yeah, no, because you reminded me. So like, I actually made a Halloween brick film actually.
Oh.
Yeah, I just completely forgot about it too now, but it's on like one of my very, very old YouTube channels.
We got some
Yeah,
got some prehistoric
so
Marcus Foon stuff here.
Yeah, so basically, I was at my friend's and we were gonna like give candy out to scare a bunch of kids and stuff like that in our dark horror costumes. But I was sitting down in his basement editing a video, and it was like the Halloween video.
Mm-hmm.
And then my friend's dad was looking at me like, "Whoa, what is this kid doing?" And I'm like, "Yo, Ramon, what's the password to your Wi-Fi?" And then I started uploading that video. It was great. That was basically
okay, we gotta go find this after the
no,
cast.
you'll never find it.
Okay, well, you got to give it to us so we don't try
You
and
doubt
find
my
it after the
determination,
cast.
sir.
I was able to find a girl
Like, we
that
got
Trev
Gym
was talking
Coach.
to on Instagram. I can find anything.
Oh wow, yeah. I mean, at least I have one to talk to.
That is true. I am lonely as all
Got
as
him.
I'll get out.
Got him.
Oh, we
Thanks
got
for reminding me,
Sam
Trev.
Below-
I'm gonna sit here in self-pity now. Thank you.
That's
Good.
9
Good.
years ago.
The
That was the
lonely
point.
gym coach.
That was the point.
We got Chris as Master Chief. We got Trev as maybe Tintin.
Maybe.
Marcus, you gotta find an excuse, man. I'm telling you.
What, for a Halloween costume?
Yeah, just run around in costume.
So,
I'll probably-
okay.
Who's
I'll probably
gonna
dress up
stop
as
you?
COVID.
Oh,
But then nobody's gonna want to be near you.
that's the point. That's the point,
That's
Chris.
actually okay. This
You just
man
walk up to
living
the
in
front door of any
3020.
house, you know, they've got like the bowl of candy there, and they scream, they throw the bowl at you and tell you to go away, and then you just end up having all the candy. It's perfect.
See, Trev understands.
I know these things.
The
We're
strats.
connected like that, Marcus. It must
Trick
be like
or
it must
treat,
be a
but
Virginian
stand
thing,
6
I guess.
feet.
Yeah, it probably is.
That's great.
Okay,
I'm
can
remembering now two funny deep cuts from just like Halloween related stuff with me. So now this is a deep cut, and I don't for the life of me know why I dressed up as this character for Halloween. But there was a show that used to be run.
Is this your brony phase again?
No.
What?
I hate you. I hate you. Okay, Mr. Unicorn onesie. So
Hey, I wear it with pride. I look good in that onesie.
Okay. But yeah, so there was a show that used to be run on Food Network. It was called Good Eats, and it was hosted by a very famous chef named Alton Brown. And there was a character that he did, I think, for like Halloween, like seasonal specific episodes called the Wafflenator. Basically, it was just a dude wearing like a bunch of like black clothes, a black cape and everything, and he had like a W on his forehead that was not an L, a W on his forehead that was it looked like it was made out of a waffle.
See where
And
this is
I
going,
actually
and I'm scared.
dressed up as that one year. I know I have pictures somewhere, not on my phone or anything, but if I ever find those before Halloween comes and goes this year, I might just post those to Twitter.
Dude, the perfect meme right
But-
there. Perfect meme.
Yeah, sure.
I'm not gonna.
I
make
guess
it.
that's just got to be the trend with all of us. We've just got to, make memes of all of us costumes, because we've got Jared in like the NASA helmet that didn't fit him. We've got Chris with all of the future Chris and the unicorn stuff. We got Sam with the gym coach. We're just waiting on Marcus at this point.
Oh,
All
wait,
we did was
okay.
stuff you in a trunk. That's it.
Before we,
That's it.
Bef-
That was pretty significant.
It wasn't
before
dressing
we
up, though.
move on to the thought-provoking question, I want to tell a story about me being a gym coach in college. So,
Oh God.
I went as a gym coach in college. I think it was my senior year. I had a mustache, and I was in a fraternity, and we were at a party, and I was coaching people to play games. So I was like walking back and forth. I was hiking up my pants, walking back and forth. I was spitting all the time. I had a clipboard, and I call a huddle, and I like everybody get in, and I draw like patterns to do games and stuff like that. And then whenever they'd be playing, and one of them missed something, and I went, I'm gonna have to add a dragon frame. Frank went, son of a bitch! And I broke my clipboard over my knee and threw it to the ground. And then I got that gum, that chewing gum, the Big League chewing gum.
Big League Chew. Yeah.
Yeah, I took a piece of it out and I put it in my lip, like I was chewing, and then I started chewing it. And I was walking back and forth, and I was spitting. And it got to the point, one of the guys in my fraternity had to ask me to leave because I was getting way too into it, and I was scaring people away. Do I have
the story alone was scaring me away.
Do I have regrets? No. Was it funny? Yes. And I would do it again. But now I'm 24 and have a
Frame100
job.
Halloween party when? Oh. Well, that'll put a damper on your plans.
Yeah. Don't grow up, kids. Anyway, Marcus, hit us with a thought-provoking question.
All right,
Segue.
boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, the thought-provoking question of the week is: what's the scariest / most horrifying thing that has happened to you in life?
Dude, that's deep.
I really
mine's
like
gonna be
this
so
question.
lame.
Oh my gosh, I have a wonderful story for it.
Okay. All right. So,
I actually
Trev is just sitting in total darkness right now, and he has a flashlight up to his face, saying that so creepily.
Yeah, I'm recording this in perfect horror fashion. The lights in the room I'm in right now are motion sensor, and since I'm just sitting here,
before Trev goes,
they're not on.
Before Trev goes, I have a question. Do we want like real things that scared us, or just like funny things that scared us? Because I got a real one, and I don't know if I want to talk about it.
Nightmares would apply, I assume.
What?
It can be both. Your choice.
All right.
It can be funny.
Okay, Trev, you go.
Okay, so, funny enough, it was actually while I was, at the university I'm at. It was when I was here for a summer camp. There was a night where it was midnight. I had to use the bathroom. I had to go number 2. So I went to go use the bathroom, and I'm sitting on the toilet.
TMI.
Trying to be not as TMI with this, but it trust me, it's important and integral to the story. I've told the story many a time. So I'm sitting there, and all of a sudden I see out from behind the trash can that's sitting across from me next to the sink, a cockroach. Now, our university here, I had heard prior to going to this camp, had a bad problem with roaches. And so I was like, okay, there's a roach here. That's wonderful. I hope it goes away. I think as long as I don't move, I should be okay. They're like T-Rexes, right? You know, if you don't move, they won't see you.
Yeah, they also eat lawyers.
So I'm sitting there, and I see it, like, it comes out, it, like, pokes its head out, and it's looking at the door, and I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, perfect. It probably, I'm assuming it wants to get out. Makes sense. And he goes back, like, behind the trash can, and I was like, all right, that's good. He's gone. I don't have to deal with him anymore. That's wonderful. Within 15 seconds of when it poked its head out, he comes out again, but this time he was looking at me. And so that's when I got a little worried. And I was like, oh my God, it's going to charge at me. And so I sat there, I clenched up a bit.
Gross.
And then, boom! That thing came right for me. I saw it, like, rear its hind legs up, and it came right at me. And so I legitimately, at 12 in the morning, let out a scream, started stomping my feet, and I got it, which was wonderful. But now I'm sitting on the toilet with a dead cockroach between my legs.
It's not dead, but yeah.
Even more gross.
So I literally scared the crap out of myself, got up, left. The next morning I go back to that bathroom and it was gone. Thank God. But I have never been so terrified in my life. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how a tiny little bug scared me crapless.
Dude,
I mean,
that
pun
was
intended.
kind of
or-
underwhelming.
I think that is like some Oscar short-worthy type stuff right there. I want to see that.
Because they'll give Oscars to anyone these days.
Exactly.
Right, I can.
No, dude, that's...
I'll go ahead and go.
I won't lie. Like, I legitimately was so scared after that happened. Like, I had a lot of trouble sleeping that night.
It's just a singular cockroach. Though.
It was
like a swarm of
literally
cockroaches.
charged at me. I don't think that they do that normally.
Yeah, they do.
Like-
I think it was charging at you because it's like, yo, Trev, where's my a deal to die for?
Oh my! Wow! Wow!
Marcus, I'm proud of you.
See, that's why it's scary.
Yeah, the scariest
Sam,
thing
please raise
about
the bar
everything
for
has
us.
been the amount of crap I've put up with from these guys. Jesus
You
Christ!
should be used to it by now.
We love you, Trev, but it's not Valentine's Day yet.
Anyway,
I
I'll go.
hate all of you. Somebody else go.
I'll go.
You've ruined my evening.
I mean, I do
More or less than the cockroach.
More than the cockroach, and that's a feat.
that. Okay,
Sam, please raise the bar for
So-
us here.
when I think I was in high school. My brother was in college, and he didn't tell me he was coming home from college. And so one night I was.
Oh, I
taking
think I remember this story.
No,
I
it's
think
a
you told
different
us.
one.
I think you
So-
told this to us.
I was taking a shower.
Oh
and
no!
All of a
That's
sudden,
never a good sign.
the lights went out throughout the house. Like mom and dad were gone. They were at. I think that they were out to dinner with their friends. So I was home by myself. So I was taking a shower. I was getting ready to go to bed, and then all the lights went out in the house, and I couldn't figure out what it was. And then the front door opened,
Oh my God!
and so I was literally naked and afraid, and I didn't know what it was because, like, I
hate
think
you.
around that time, like, there was a break, like an escaped convict running around Sumner County, Sumner County, where I'm at, and and I was like, oh God! So I got out of the shower, and I put a towel around me, and I walked upstairs, and there was nothing in the house to defend myself. Like, I couldn't find my dad's gun because I think Hank hid it on purpose. So I think I grabbed a roll of paper towels to throw, and then all of a sudden Hank jumps out of the hallway and yells, "Hi, Sam!" And I dropped my towel and screamed like a little baby girl, and I peed just a little bit, and then sprinted back downstairs. And he always reminds me of when he did that to me. He did that to me the other day. I got out. We were going to get Mexican food here in town, and I got out of the shower, and I walked over, and I was listening to music, and I opened the closet door, and he was in the closet door. He was in the closet. I never heard him come in the house. I opened the closet door, and he goes, "Hi, Sam," and I kicked him in the baby maker and ran.
Yes. I love
Oh
it.
my God!
So there's two bonus
I
stories for you guys.
Wow.
I sense a weird trends with all these scary stories and bathrooms. It's kind of weird. Kind of concerning.
Mine does
Like,
not feature. a
Literally, you're
bathroom.
talking about naked and afraid. I was naked, wet, and afraid.
I don't. I'm trying really hard to get that image out of my head right now. It's
You can't. It's there forever. Anyway,
Pain.
My goodness.
Should be used to it by now.
It's so cold.
I am at my wit's end tonight.
Yes, I do. It does not involve a bathroom, thankfully. So,
Bless.
junior year, I had to take an electromagnetics course, and the professor who taught the course, he's notoriously, he's pretty difficult. Really reasonable dude, but at the same time, his class is incredibly difficult. If you do the homework, you're fine, but the homework takes quite a bit to figure out. Thing is, though, the final exam was going to be a massive part of the grade, and I was afraid that I was going to not do too well. And so, I studied the crap ton, but I thought, I just need to take a break just to clear my head. And so I decided, okay, I'll take about an hour's break. I still got several hours before the exam. I've kind of hit my saturation of studying. I'll be fine. And so I'm playing Destiny for a little bit. This is back when I had poor taste in video games. So anyways, I'm sitting there, and I'm playing Destiny, and I'm thinking, alright, how much time do I have left for the exam? And so I look at my phone and check the calendar. Turns out I was wrong. The exam was in 10 minutes. So I get up out of my apartment, grab my backpack, grab my note sheet, sprint out the door, through the snow, straight to the lecture hall. I get down, put my note sheet on the table, get my pencil and calculator, and realize, okay, the last 4 pages of notes, I only had 3. Missing page was back at my dorm. And it's the page with all the new stuff that we hadn't been tested on yet.
Oh.
And it's optics. I am horrible at optics. And at that point, my heartbeat was reaching new levels. Because if I tanked this class, I would be so screwed. And I asked the professor if I could quickly run back and grab the note sheet. But he says, no, you don't have enough time. You just have to wing it. And so I'm sitting there looking over these optics problems that I have no clue how to solve because I don't have the note sheet. And yet somehow, I don't know how far I was able to make this work, but I ended up getting an A on the exam. But it was that 5 minutes of panic. That's the scariest thing I've ever had to deal with, because at that moment, I was pretty sure I was just straight up failed this course.
Well, I'm pretty confident now that Chris is not going to be scared by a deal to die for, just because there's specifically no electrical exams in there.
Well, at least this is scarier than a cockroach.
Dude, you don't even know,
I'm just
man.
saying.
It was a cockroach, Trev.
I'm telling you, man, if it was
know,
a swarm of cockroaches, that's scary. But, a singular cockroach? I mean, is Wall-E a horror film?
Dude, it was midnight. I was sleep deprived because I had been working hard that day, man. I mean, I guess it's not as bad as the nightmare I repeatedly had where my house just fills up with, a flood of just bugs and, every creepy crawly you could think of. But,
that's
it was still
scary. But, one cockroach?
Alright.
I'm beating a dead horse here.
Whatever.
Marcus, take it
Marcus,
away.
how about you, man?
Before I jump onto mine, I want to comment on Chris's story that I had a similar event. But
and did we have the same EMAG professor?
It was my first semester at community college. I was taking pre-calc, but for this class, the professor was like, "No, we don't use calculators for this class."
I hate people that are like that.
And I'm like, "How do I graphs then? What?"
Very well, thank you.
And then we were only allowed to use a simple 4-function calculator. I'm like, oh my god, this is absolutely torture. And then final exam came, right? I had a C in the class, so it was either pass or fail. I looked through the exam. I wrote my name. I laughed. I looked through the exam again. I turned my exam down, gave it back to the professor, and just walked out without answering any of the questions.
Oh my goodness.
And you know what my grade was for that class?
Not an A.
An F.
Dang.
And then I retook the class again with a different professor, and I got B+. Because I was allowed to use a graphing calculator. My god.
Quick tangent to your tangent, and it can kick into your actual scary story. I don't understand the teachers who say, yeah, when you're in the real world, you won't always have access to a calculator. Oh, hang on, I'm getting a call. Hello? Smartphone? With a calculator? Hey, how you doing? Anyways, Marcus, your story.
Okay. Most horrifying story. Let's see here. I have tons, but I'll go with my most recent.
What's the scariest then? Come on. That was the question that was the
way
question
too
you
personal.
posed. I feel like the people that pose these
Way
questions have issues answering them themselves. It's kind of funny.
It's true. It's true.
It's funny.
This one
funny
was way
trend.
too personal. So, the most recent scariest thing that has happened to me was getting shot by a Lego minifigure. No, I'm joking.
Wow.
I'm joking.
That's oddly specific and totally not related.
So it was
to
when I
the-
was sleeping, and then my bio clock woke up at 6 a.m., 7 a.m. And I'm like, and then I'm on my phone, and then I'm scrolling through Facebook videos, and then I find this video about sleep paralysis, right? And I watched that for 30 seconds. And I'm like, I'm tired again. I'm going back to sleep. Maybe an hour later, I had a dream where I'm in my house. Everywhere is dark, no lights, and then I walk down to the living room, and then I see this dark, shadowy figure. This is more of a
man.
by the way. This dark, shadowy figure, right? I'm like, what the heck? This thing grabbed me. It just jumped on me and tried squishing me to death. And I'm like, oh my god. I'm like, okay, 10 out of 10, this is a dream. And then my body woke up, and I'm like, I knew it was a dream. But then, here's the weird part. I could not open my eyes, or I could not move my body for a solid minute.
Well, Marcus is possessed, ladies and gentlemen. We
Oh my
pack it up. We're going
goodness.
home.
Yeah, I'm like,
I'm
I
pretty
can't
sure that's
move.
not it.
10 out of 10, something was behind me, even when I was awake in that room. So, I literally jumped over to the other side to see if there was something there, and then there was nothing, and I was like, oh my god, what the heck?
I've had many
Yeah.
moments like that where it's like, is there something over in the shadows over there? I remember back when Five Nights at Freddy's was massive, when that was first starting out. I kept, for some reason, thinking that one of those animatronics was just hiding in the shadows somewhere. We have a boiler room downstairs, and we usually have the lights off in it, but at night it is pitch black back there. And many a time I have been spooked crapless because of me thinking there's something moving over there, but it's just my mind playing tricks on me. It's crazy.
Well, I'm not going to sleep tonight. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
You're welcome.
I'm living in a 120-year-old house. This place is definitely haunted. I ain't sleeping tonight. Thanks, guys. Appreciate that. Of course, the person that used to live here made bread every Sunday, so at least I have that to look forward to.
Nice. Smells
So I'm just
good.
imagining Sam wakes up in the middle of the night and there's this ghost, and she's all, woo!
Give me
want some bread?"
yeast. Give me yeast. Ooh.
Yo, I would like a ghost lady that gives me free food.
That'd be awesome. Yeah.
That's a big bonus in a house.
She
Mhm.
made
Yeah, there you go. Some whole
Pretty big incentive.
she made
some super wholesome grandma who just says, "Hey, want some bread? Yes, please.
she
I could
made
probably die right now. They'll
every
make a horror film
Sunday-
about this."
remember
But
every Sunday she would make bread for everybody in town that wanted it. And when she passed away, everyone's like, "Aw." But now I'm like, dude, she probably still makes bread every Sunday. Just come over to the house, sit in the living room, and there'd be bread. It just, every Sunday, it smells like bread in my house.
That's creepy.
It's
Good thing
That's
I have not
really
come over to
creepy.
visit.
But,
shoot, that's what I should have done for Fright and Fear. We
man,
discussed this before the podcast. I was thinking I should have entered something. I had no idea to spend an hour questioning everything. Wholesome grandma ghost makes bread.
like,
Alright, it sounds stupid when I say it out loud. Never mind.
it's just funny because it's like, oh, okay, yeah. It smells like bread. It's weird. But I'm not worried because
Weird.
she's
man.
not going to kill anybody. At least that I know of. Anyway,
I'm pretty sure you're just gonna get free bread.
I hope so.
I think
'cause
the way that she would be able to kill people is through obesity, but I think that's the biggest fear people would have with that ghost.
Yeah, but people
mean,
are already
Marcus
dying
knows
from
about
obesity anyway, so.
Mm.
Wow, we live in a society, don't we?
All right.
What a scary note to end this podcast on.
End this. Please end this. We just said society. End it. Please.
That's what you're supposed to expect from Frame100. We talk about brick films, we have horrible segues, and we plead Chris to just end it already.
Exactly.
On that note, thanks for listening to this episode of the Frame100 podcast. If you have any thoughts on any of the topics we discussed today, minus the one that just killed this episode, please leave a comment or tag us on Twitter with #Frame100. We'd also like to thank Lots of Toast for the awesome theme music. Please go check out his channel and support his work. If you want to hear more from us, you can find us on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. Until then, stay tuned for our next episode, and keep brick filming.